talk about the controversy in your district. We're going to end with a powerful note for our audience here on the nomination for the 5th Congressional District, which is next Saturday, right? The 13th?
That's right, June 13th, as far as we know.
It's a drive-through. Drive-through convention.
Absolutely ludicrous. This ludicrous.
You've leveled some charges, and I haven't disagreed with you about the corruption in the 5th District Congressional Republican Congressional Committee. That's the term. You know, are there actual people on the payroll of your opponent's campaign
that could vote for the nomination method? Oh yeah, and people that were on Cynthia Dunbar's campaign, you know, or simply on Bob Good's campaign. You know, when you refuse to pay to play, you can engender a lot of antipathy, right? And you know, I think here's really what you look at right now is that I never thought that you could pay somebody for a vote and actually get away with it, but I guess in Virginia you can. And you know, I just find it interesting that not only did they pay to play to make sure that they manipulated the convention and manipulated the way we're nominated, but then some of these committee chairs then made the registration period only like 18 days to get delegates, and then cut it off in February for an original April election. I mean, we still have people calling us, and now we've got to be a delegate for you because you've got to win. And we're like, oh, sorry, 5th District Committee, many of these counties cut off only after 2.5 weeks of registering to vote. I mean, come on. This is 0.004 of the population. We got 740,000 people, and we'll have about 3,000 delegates. And a lot of these delegates were already sort of primed based on pay to play and a manipulation of the committee. So that's the battlefield I get to play on. But whether it's harassing or intimidating voters, or it's trying to pay off committee members, or it's trying to manipulate the process, or holding back names for our campaign so we can't get to the delegates, or giving, you know, not giving the phone numbers and the emails, so we just have addresses and have to pay to match data, right? Kicking out delegates without any type of, by the way, there's no credentials committee. So any of these committee guys, right?
There's no credentials committee?
Nope. No, the committee chair. Oh, and there's no temporary chairman either.
You're kidding.
Nope. No, it's the people that Bob paid are the ones running this. And by the way, I mean, you know, my attorney said it best. He goes, you know, for the Republican Party, do we have to start actually doing a budget on how much we got to pay off committee members, right, to do this? I mean, is this what Republican politics are going to be?
Illegal. This has got to be illegal.
It's a private corporation, and that's why the parties are so broken. That's why the Republican Party has lost for the last 12 years, is because when you have this pay-to-play context, people get afraid. I mean, what normal individual is going to join a committee of 5 people who scream and yell about things you don't understand, right? And this is their life, right? People go to work for a living. So you have these small committees that dictate it, and then they threaten, cajole, or they use money. And by the way, you know, in one quarter, my opponent, 60% of his funds went to committee members in one quarter of what he actually raised, 60%. And I'm looking at this going,
pay the committee members?
Yep. From campaign funds.
Here's money for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, and that's why when people hear it, they're like, well, this can't be real. Well, this is as real as it can be. And I've had people say, well, it's happened the last years and years in the Republican Party. You're allowed to pay people off. I'm like, oh, really? I said, well, there was a lot of illegal things in history that probably a lot of legal things that should have been illegal, but this is at the least unethical, right? And the fact is because I refuse to pay you, you're going to get somebody else to pay, and you're going to find a mark so you can run somebody against me so you can continue to get a paycheck. This is how these people make their living, right? They're convention fixers. This is what they do. They say that they're consultants or they're campaign managers, but really what they are is they have to manipulate the process to get paid, and they get somebody to come in to do it, and they hope that they pull one off. You know, because if you can keep it small, you can control it all. But if you go wrong, you stay wrong. So if you have a very small amount of people, if you lie enough, maybe you can get them to believe things about me that aren't true. So those are the kind of things we've been fighting. That's okay, Chris. You know, I dealt with it before. If you want to fight, that's fine. I'll fight on any battlefield. The thing is, I can say what I want to say. And if I lose, I'll just come back to my distillery or start another counterterrorism company and go hunt terrorists. But if people don't rise up and stop this BS, right? If you don't have a party that wants to be inclusive and big tent, if you want to keep it small, why don't we keep losing for the next 12 years like we had for the last 12 years? Why don't we just keep having Democratic senators? Why don't we just have a Democratic Party, you know, executive, right? With the governor, the AG, and the LG. Why not have a democratically controlled state house and a Democratic Party controlled state Senate? Why not have that? Why not only have 4 Republican congressmen? Why don't we become a big tent party, concentrate on individual liberty, and stop mucking around with these sort of payoff conventions? listen, conventions are synonymous with corruption, and I'm going to fight it whether I win or lose. So this is just beginning.
It's absolutely staggering to me that there's no accountability.
There's none.
And you can level the charges and they go, yeah, that's the way we've always done it. I'm going, no, I've never heard of this ever.
Yeah, they said that's the way they make their money. And I said, okay, they just admitted to corruption. And people are like, yeah, that's what they do. And and I've had people tell me I should have paid them off. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
I was said,
Trust
no
me,
red flag. You know, no red flag. So we're gonna win. We're gonna win this.
It's just even if you lose, you go, okay, well, there's always another election, people.
And the thing is too is that I have such a great staff and we've done so well. And you know what? I've never been happier than, listen, when you get a call from Sonny Perdue at USDA like, hey, Denver, you got $62 million going for rural broadband in your district, or you know, President Trump loves our bipartisan opioid bill, right? Where we're fighting addiction, $1 billion a year over the next 5 years, right? Or me being supported for high intensity drug trafficking area certification, where I'm fighting the Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels, or the hemp crop insurance that I got through, which has changed the way the 5th District might be able to do business, right? I mean, these things are huge for me. Or the NDAA, as you know, Chris, the National Defense Authorization Act, where I'm able to make Danville the center of the universe for Navy critical shipbuilding skills. That's what you do. That's what you do for the 5th District. I get goosebumps because I built a business plan, not a political plan. And if people want a political plan with somebody who just says pretty things and never does anything, have the past 4 or 5 congressmen. You go get them. Right? That's not me. I am going to have a business plan. I'm going to do the best for the 5th District. If you don't like it, don't vote for me. That's simple.